Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe if you're new. And today we will be talking about some data out of the state of Florida, doing some state analysis as well. But first, I'd like to tell you guys about my friends over at Noble Gold. Now we're less than a month away from the election. Scary, huh? And whatever the outcome on the day, it looks like the economy is going to be in turmoil for a while. Don't be a victim. Take some action now to avoid losing your retirement savings if the markets take a hit. A gold IRA uses the value of precious metals to keep you out of trouble, and the team at Noble Gold knows how to do this. So give them a call at 877-646-5347. If you do, they'll gift a 10th ounce solid gold American Eagle coin with every qualifying IRA or 401k rollover. Give them a call or submit a request from the link in the description. So now we have to talk about the state of Florida. In 2016, Florida is a state that went for Donald Trump by 113,000 votes or so. A lot of people thought it would narrowly either go for Trump or Hillary. Donald Trump ended up outperforming the polling average in Florida by 1%, but a lot of the experts did have Hillary Clinton winning in the state of Florida leading up to election night until roughly around 10 o'clock when it looked like the votes came in from certain parts of different counties, and it would have been enough to give Trump enough votes to get him over the top, especially with the Trump surge in the panhandle. So this is a state that is a must-win for 2020. Donald Trump needs to win the state, and I do believe that he will end up winning the state. It is part of his pathway to 270 electoral votes. A lot of people are going to say, what about the polls? You want to look at the polls. A lot of these polls look abysmal for Trump, especially Quinnipiac, which is a total joke. And we saw a couple Hillary +9 polls from them last cycle. So I'd like to disregard Quinnipiac, but a lot of the polls that we've seen have Donald Trump losing probably by around 3 points or so to Joe Biden. There was obviously the one ABC News poll that had Trump up by 4, but all the other polling has consistently had Trump a little bit behind. But again, this is nothing new. In 2018, besides the Trafalgar poll, Gillum had like a 5% lead in the aggregate leading up to Election Day. And by the way, there's not a current Trafalgar poll in the aggregate, and Trump is down by like 3.5 or so. So you do have to take that into consideration. Trafalgar was more accurate than any of the other polls in 2018. And the last poll back from August had Trump up by like 3 or 4 or something like that. So you can see from this that the polls were wrong by 4% in Florida. If they were wrong by 4% again, Donald Trump will win the election. You can't count on that, but it seems based on how awful the crosstabs are this cycle that very may well be true. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, but the seniors, what about the seniors? Well, we could talk about the seniors. What about in 2018 when a lot of the polls had Gillum winning seniors, and then on Election Day it didn't end up being the case? If you want to look at this, seniors actually approve of Trump's COVID handling more so than any other age group. This is true in the Washington Post ABC poll as well as the Economist poll. So you can see there that more seniors approve of Trump's COVID handling than people from any other age group. I don't think Trump is going to have a massive drop-off with seniors. Obviously, issue importance is a key thing. He may lose a little bit of ground here and there, but it's not going to be substantial in my opinion, especially not enough to win the state of Florida. And we do have to talk about the ballot returns that are happening currently in the state of Florida as well, and analyzing how it's really going to shake down. This guy on Twitter broke this down, saying Democrats currently, out of all of the votes cast, have about a 398,000 vote lead currently. And this is true. And this is different in years past because Republicans did usually lead in the absentee vote, but that's not the case this year, especially with Donald Trump hammering away against mail-in voting. A lot of your seniors, a lot of your people that previously utilized this service are likely going to be voting in person, early voting before Election Day. And that starts next week. If you can look at this in the state of Florida, early voting starts on October 24th. It ends on October 31st. According to a lot of the crosstabs we've seen in polling, which again are not the be-all and end-all because they've been all over the place this cycle, but the one consistent thing we've seen is that Republicans have been leading in terms of their vote intention to be them voting early and in person, which is very, very interesting to look at here because a lot of the mail-in vote is swinging Dem. But at the same time, a lot of the in-person vote, whether it's before Election Day or not, is going to be Republican. And this held true in the 2020 primary for a lot of the congressional races. And a lot of Democrats underperformed their expectations. They may have had a very, very narrow lead at the end when it came to total votes cast. But again, that's not the be-all and end-all because there were a lot of other factors at play. And a lot of people overestimated the Democrats by several 100,000 votes, more so than it ended up being. And you saw the same thing in Arizona. And I've already done several videos on Arizona. I may do another one leading up to the election. But looking at this, it seems like Republicans are in a fairly good shape because that margin is going to be very easy to make up. And a lot of people will be voting on Election Day. And obviously that margin may increase. It may increase to 600,000. It may increase to 700,000, 800,000 or so. Republicans, if they get their act together and come out and vote on Election Day, that really won't matter. And they will end up winning the state of Florida by a couple percentage points, which is roughly what I expect to happen. I do expect Trump to win Florida. And we will know the winner of Florida on election night because they do count the mail-in votes first. They have a very efficient vote counting system in the state of Florida. And if Donald Trump loses the state of Florida, it's probably over. If he wins the state of Florida, the election is in play, and then we can start talking about the Rust Belt. And if he's doing good in Wisconsin, if he's doing good in Pennsylvania, then Donald Trump will probably end up winning the election. But we'll really just have to wait and see. But we do have to do a little bit of analysis here when it comes to Florida. And we have to analyze how Donald Trump won it last time and how did Ron DeSantis and Rick Scott buck the odds and win in a very, very blue national environment. So Donald Trump won the state because he drove up Republican turnout significantly in the Panhandle. There's not a whole lot of people here outside of, obviously, places like Pensacola, but there's still a good amount of individuals that do live in the Panhandle. And a lot of them are more similar to Alabamians than people down in Miami-Dade County. Now, Trump also did well in certain counties in the I-4 corridor, like Polk County. He flipped Pinellas County, and he improved in a lot of the exurban counties in the middle of the state. As a whole, he did well in Sarasota, Manatee. He won Monroe County, which was a county that voted for Obama in 2008 and 2012. Trump didn't do that well in places like Hillsborough. He lost Hillsborough by 7%, and he may lose Hillsborough by more than that this time. And he did regress in traditionally Republican places like Duval County, where he did win, but in 2018 that was not the case for the Republicans, and we will talk about that. But 2018 saw a little bit of a different map here. And a lot of Republicans in the Panhandle did not turn out at the same rates as they did previously. This was true. A lot of the counties in the Panhandle underperformed for Republicans. However, they made it up. They did much better in Miami-Dade County. Rick Scott got nearly 40% of the vote in Miami-Dade, and Donald Trump got 33.8%. So that is roughly a 6% increase for the Republicans. And a lot of the local polling we've seen shows a lot of these Cuban voters warming up to Donald Trump, warming up to the Republicans. A lot of these people voted for Marco Rubio back in 2016, even if they didn't pull the lever for Trump. And Trump is going heavy after the Cuban vote there, and you saw that during the RNC, and that's a very good thing. You look at Palm Beach County. Rick Scott got 42% of the vote. That is where Trump spends a lot of his time, in Palm Beach County. And Donald Trump got 40.9% of the vote. So you see a modest increase there in 2018. That's where they kind of made up some of the votes that they lost in places like Duval County, where they ended up losing, places like Pinellas County, where they ended up losing, as well as Hillsborough, where a little bit of ground was lost. And I do expect Trump to maintain his Panhandle coalition, a little bit of his I-4 coalition in the center part of the state as well. But I do think he will regress in places like Duval. I think he will regress in places like Hillsborough. Maybe Pinellas he could lose, but we'll just have to wait and see. That could go either way. But the big thing is that will save Donald Trump is I do expect him to overperform his 2016 totals in Miami-Dade County. I think he will do better in Palm Beach County as well, and he'll get his turnout up in the Panhandle. So basically what he's going to try to do is combine his 2016 coalition, get him out to vote, along with Rick Scott and Ron DeSantis' coalition in the Miami-Dade Palm Beach area. that they did much better in than Donald Trump did in 2016. If he's able to combine those coalitions, he will win the state of Florida again, and I really do believe he will. I think he's going to win it by roughly 2 percentage points or so, and it's kind of a similar thing to Wisconsin, where you look at Wisconsin and you see a much different map in 2018 than there was in 2016, even though the state was very close in both elections, even though the Republicans did lose in 2018. You're seeing a similar thing here. For example, the traditionally more Republican areas in Wisconsin voted heavily for Scott Walker, more so than they voted for Donald Trump, but the rural part of the state didn't come out for Walker as much as they came out for Trump. And you're seeing a similar thing here. They did better in places like Miami-Dade, Palm Beach, but they didn't do as well in places like the Panhandle, which is kind of similar to the Driftless area, a little bit, not necessarily a perfect comparison. But it's a similar thing going on in Florida as you see in Wisconsin. That's why I believe Trump is going to win Florida, and I think he's got a fairly good shot at Wisconsin too. And I think he's got a good shot at both states, more so than what the current public polling and national pundits have been talking about. Florida is definitely a winnable state for Trump. I don't even think Biden's trying too hard at it. It's not a must-win for Biden. It's a must-win for Trump. And the ballot returns don't look good enough for Democrats to the point where I do believe that Trump is going to win the state of Florida. It's a key part of his coalition to get to 270. But we'll monitor the voting as we get closer to the election. If the Democrats get a lead that is just insurmountable by Election Day, yeah, I'll change my tone on that. But from the looks of it right now, I just can't see that happening. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media, become a member, donate to the Patreon, or subscribe. Star links in description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.